Hello everyone, so this video is going to show you how to do assignment 1 of TaunTaun's assignment. So what you want to do basically before you start working with any file from TaunTaun is to make sure that TaunTaun does everything in metric, but we want to do everything imperial because FRC is American competition, so everything will end up being imperial anyways. So going options here, go under document properties and go under units and make sure you have IPS selected instead of MMGS. IPS, make sure everything is imperial, click OK. It should take a few seconds or up to a few seconds depending on how fast your computer is. And now every single measurement in this thing is going to be imperial instead of metric. So next what we want to do is we want to duplicate this. So the best way to do it is to look at this side. So we see two boss extrude, and it shows you actually which extrude he did. So the first one he did is the So the first thing he did was he made the rectangle and he made the circle on top of that. So that's what he did. So starting with the first one, going to sketch 1, this is exactly what he did, which is a rectangle, and he extruded it and he made a circle on top of the rectangle and he extruded the circle. So starting with this one, we want to go into edit sketch because we want to see the dimensions. So so it's 10 by 20 inches with what's the corner radius is 0.5 inch. So that's what we're going to do exactly. So let's start with opening a new file. Make sure it's not assembly, not drawing, but parts. So make sure it's parts, click OK. Now we want to do exactly the same. It doesn't matter which plane you do it on because we're not taking this to assembly, but if you take it to assembly, do think about which orientation you are going to be assembling your stuff in. That's going to help, but for now, again, I'm just going to select top, click there, go in sketch. This allows you to go into sketch mode and have the plane selected, so that's sort of a shortcut. For the first one, make sure you have a center triangle, not any of the other one, make sure it's the second one. Roughly draw a triangle starting with the center. It doesn't matter the dimension. We're going to adjust dimensions now. So taking a look at TaunTaun's, it's 20 by 10, so that's the dimension we're going to adjust it to first now. So starting with, let's see, smart dimensions. So this one's 20. And the next one is 10, so this one's 10 inch. So now we have a triangle, and now we're going to do the fillets. So for this one, it's easier to do it TaunTaun's way, so I'm just going to do the fillets TaunTaun's way, but normally for me, I do the fillets in the end. But again, it works as a way. So select the fillet, select the two sides you want to be filleting on, and that should give you a fillet instead of 0.1. We're going to take a look what he has here, which is radius is 0.5 inch. So instead of 0.1, we're doing 0.5. And for the purpose of this one, you can just do the fillets with the rest of them exactly the same. And it should remember 0.5 automatically. So what you can do is you can just select the two ends and click OK, and everything should be done. And once you have done all four corners, it's exactly the same thing as TaunTaun has. So edit X sketch, go in features, extrude base, and we want to see what height TaunTaun is extruding by. To do that, exit boss extrude first because we cannot do both at the same time. Come back to TaunTaun's file, exit sketch, and go into boss extrude 1, right click, and edit feature. So this allows us to see that he extruded by this height again, and we're just going to copy the height because it's not a nice number from our end. So, okay, good. Yep, the other thing is make sure not to randomly select stuff while you're doing things. So here's this one. So now we want to extrude it. So go in features, boss extrude, come here, click enter. This gives you a preview. It looks like TaunTaun's iPhone, so that's good. Click OK. Now next, what we want to try is the so-called camera of the iPhone, or let me put in a better orientation. Not the best at moving stuff around, but this is the orientation. As we can see, it's on the back, not the front. So for this one, instead of selecting the front for sketch, so when you click sketch, it tells you what surface you select on. Instead of the surface in the front, we want a surface in the back. So click the back surface. And you can identify the back surface because it's darker than the front one. So now we have the back surface. Now we need to go into TaunTaun's thing and go in the second sketch, click right click edit sketch to see what he has. So the larger square you can ignore because he didn't do anything with them. So we want to see he took a square from the corner 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch, and I want to use smart dimension to see the radius of this thing, which is 1 inch in diameter, so 0.5 inch in radius. So that's what we're going to do as well. So come here. So again, we're in sketch mode already. So select a corner triangle in this case. Can I find the corner of that thing? No. Well, that's one of the reasons why I don't like the corner triangle that way, but we can do it on the other corners and get it around this way, which is good. So one of the problems with selecting a corner triangle is now it's recognizing this as a shape, but the way to get around it is deselect the triangle because you need to make a rectangle anymore, sorry, and select any of the lines and actually just select one line at a time and make sure these are for construction instead of fully turned down. So this turns it into support lines instead of the real one, so it no longer will bother you with changing into a thing. So now we want to make sure is smart dimensions all of them into 2.5 inches. 2.5 inch. And this one is going to be 2.5 inch. So what he did next, let's see, is draw these two center lines. So that's what we're going to do as well to find the center of the square. So make sure you have center line instead of line selected. Just draw them diagonally. If you see the orange light up for the dot, that means you're actually on the dot. So that's sort of a trick. And now the center is shown. So now take a circle. Make sure you have the circle, not the perimeter circle. Take a circle here, and let's make sure mine is on the dot actually. So let me delete this one, and again, see the dot light up in orange. That means it's selected. Take any circle and select smart dimension. Make sure the circle's diameter is 1 inch. So now I have to duplicate this part of TomTom's design. So now let's move on to see what height he picked for the circle. In my case, select good, so everything's good, and moving on to TomTom's side, exit sketch. So what I want to do next is select boss extrude, select edit feature, and see that is his height. So going to take this number because it's a weird number again, and come on to this side, which is my version. So wait, is it? No, okay, so that's still TomTom's version. My bad. You have to exit boss extrude before it lets you do anything. So good. So let me come to my side, which is this one. Going to exit sketch, which is good. Select feature, select extrude base, and take this and select enter. Get a preview. That looks like exactly what he has. Click OK, and we're done. So that's how to make an exact copy of TomTom's iPhone at very low resolutions, aka the assignment 1 of the TomTom's assignments. As for exactly how to save stuff, Control S or save. I'm just gonna save it A1. And as you can see, I have two ways for doing A2, which will both be released on the team's YouTube account. So those will be released exactly the deadline for the assignment. So feel free to take a look at those as well. So that's what I have for this video. Thank you very much for watching.